morning. Well, it's morning here still. Good morning. I think I just went live. It's morning still here in Southern California, but it looks like we have folks from Kansas City, Missouri, South Texas, Nebraska. Oh, good, good, good. Deborah, I'm glad you liked the cards. So welcome, everyone. Josie's here. Suze is here. Elisa, Deborah, Lorraine. Ooh, I like that name. Welcome. So we are going to start off with a live Q&A. So if you have any questions for me, pop them in the chat. And also, if you just want to say hello, I love saying hello to you as well. So I'm so glad you, Edita's here. Hi, Edita. So and Sue, so good to see you guys. Oh, some names I recognize from my lives. So great. Okay, so Jennifer, yes, that's a great question. Jennifer wants to know, how do you decide to choose which ephemera or embellishment pieces to use when you're creating? And one of the tricks that I like to do is to actually put them all out. Like I'm a very visual person. So I clear my workspace and just spread them all out in front of me and then start looking for things that kind of go together. So for instance, in my little, I'm pulling one of my cards. So I saw, oh, there's a couple trees right here. And maybe I'll put those together. So then I just kind of create piles and then move things around until I decide that I like it. And so this was pretty easy to do because there's a set of 12. So I knew I kind of needed 12 groupings. And then, you know, you can move things around, move your pieces, flip papers over until you get something that you like. But that's always the tricky thing. And always remember your design elements, you know, shape, size, color, all those design elements when you're adding them to it. So great. Thank you for that question. Okay. So Catherine, you should be directed when you click on the link to my website, Craft Some Joy, and then you can click on get your free download. And it does ask you for your email. So we're doing a swap. If you give me your email, then you'll be directed to the link to download the page. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, you are. I'm so glad, Suze, you've enjoyed the summit so far. I know, so fun. Kind of doing something different with cards, right? So how do you store your paper? Well, you've got a sneak peek right behind it. And the quick answer is I have 3 different storage solutions: Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear in my pouches. And that really has helped me decide how to organize and store my paper. But if you actually go to my YouTube channel at Craft Some Joy, I have several videos of paper. And one that people find very helpful is the one that's at last at peace with my paper. And hopefully that can gives you all the details. And then also my Tidy Up Tuesdays, I talk a lot about paper as well. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. Thank you, Ardith, for putting up that link for my website. But it should be directed, to get the free download. If not, you can always email me, lauren@craftssomejoy.com, if you're having trouble, and I can get you that link. Okay. Yes. KM says, what size circle and square punches did you use for the cards? So those are actually, these circles and squares that I used were from the Creative Memories punches. So I'm going to roll over here. And these are the 2 new circle and square makers. So if I have my handy dandy ruler right here, these are 1 3/4 inch square. And I believe the circle is about the same on the biggest part. Yep, 1 3/4 inch circle. And I know that there's other manufacturers that have a similar size. I do really love these punches. They come in really handy. So those are the ones I used in this class. So thank you for the questions. All right. Hello, everyone else. Coming on, Carol, Cheryl, Sue is here. I saw a fun name. Let me see. Lynn. Yes, I thought I saw Lynn. Hello. I haven't seen your name pop up in a while. So good to see you here. Okay. Any other questions popping on? Because I can just say hello from everyone um, that's on the chat. Okay. Oh, tell us a little bit about my summit freebie. Okay. So in the summit, we made 5 cards together, right? And so you got step-by-step instructions on how to make 5 of the cards. And then what I gave you as a freebie was the cutting guide. I call it a quick cuts cutting guide. And that guide actually lets you complete 7 more cards, because wait, we do 5 cards in the summit, and then there's 7 more cards, so a total of 12 cards that you can make from just 4 sheets of paper, 1 embellishment pack, and 1 pack of cards, right? So you need 12 cards to do all the cards. And so I have reindeer look like they're upside down here. Those are some of my favorite, right? Oh, they're so cute. So the freebie then gives you the magic formula. So if you like using this size card, and let me give you the size on these. These are, let's see, I knew I needed my ruler, 5.5 by 4.25. Okay, so the base card is 5.5 by 4.25. So whenever you make a card that size, you can use my Quick Cuts cutting guide to make the base layers for 12 cards with 4 sheets of paper. So I want you to think outside of your Christmas bubble, right? I know we're all kind of geared up for this right now. And think of birthday. So grab a pack of birthday ephemera or embellishments and 4 sheets of birthday paper and a pack of cards, right? So 12 cards, and then do like what I was saying, make little piles of your embellishments and, lay down your paper. And that quick cuts guide will give you those really nice layers. So you always have this background layer for your cards, right? And then you have like a decorative layer. And then sometimes like this is the square right here, and I'll add that layer on top. So this card right here, you can see there's actually 4 different layers. There's the background, and then I put a strip here, and then the polka dot strip, and then this little square as a little accent. So to me, the fun is in the layering, right? It's getting all those different colors and patterns to play well together. And once you have, oops, there's the snowman, there's the 3 circles. Once you have that formula, you can use that over and over. So, oh, yes. And Suze, thank you. Yeah, so my lettering class was actually something I introduced a little while ago as a live. And so I had a lot of folks join me live to take the lettering class. And then I thought, hey, that was so much fun. We should also use that in the bundle. So if you haven't purchased the upgrade bundle, there is my class, my lettering class, Love Your Lettering. Thank you, Suze, for in telling me how much you enjoyed that. We practiced a lot and showed some different techniques. My goal is really, how do we take our own handwriting and just play with it? Just, do some little fun techniques where we can practice and get more confident. And I'm hoping to do another follow-up course to that, where we're just going to take those things that we learned in the Love Your Lettering class and then practice, because really it is about practicing. And if we can do that together, I think that would be fun. So yeah, thank you. Carousels, yes, what a space there. I know Ardith was saying that too. She was saying, oh my goodness, you've got those. I have several, and I have confession. I just got 2 more for the, Stampin' Up! Punches. So you guys know I love my CM. I love all things crafty, but the Tim Holtz Distress Carousel, that's over kind of in my stamping station. And I just got the Lockdown punch carousel from uh Stampin' Storage. I love it because I wasn't using those. They were kind of tucked under my island, and now I have them up and I can just spin it. You can just spin these guys and see all your goodies all in one place. So this is for border makers. They have them, border makers ink, um, creative memories punches. Let me see if I can move out of the way. Those punches. And then the inks are amazing. I put all my Tim Holtz distress inks in those, and those are awesome. And there's info about that on my website too, if you're interested. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Aunt Allie, what do I do with my cards? Well, after I'm done showing them here, actually, I have some folks that I want to send these to. They're going to go to my family members and some special team members also. But yeah, I'd love to hear, what do you guys do with your cards? The ones I get from folks. So when I make them, I like to use them and send them. But the ones I get from people, can you guys see? Okay, you're going to see way up top up here. On top of, I have more punch holders over there. But when I get Happy Mail, I love putting them on display and seeing all my Happy Mail that I get from you out there. And it is amazing. There are some fabulous card makers out there. So when I receive them, that's where I like to put them. And oh, what hobbies? Okay, so I spend a lot of my time paper crafting, as you can see here. But I do, I've always enjoyed working and creating. And so I have enjoyed sewing. That's one of my things. I've spent some time knitting and crocheting. I can't say I'm very good at that, but it is fun to make, when the weather gets cooler, to, sit down with a nice ball of yarn. And actually I did some jewelry making as well. So I love all the things to just, just use that creative spirit that we all can tap into and do something fun. Okay. Oh, my room looks huge. It's not that big. Actually, yeah, there's a whole story behind this. I believe it's a 10 by 14 size room. It's a rectangle and there's no closets in here. So I had to be really creative on how to store things. And if you're interested in kind of the behind the scenes, that's also on my social. You could follow it on Instagram or on Facebook, kind of how I put this room together. The Tidy Up series that I do, we really talk about a lot of the different spaces in here. And I'm hoping, I keep saying this. Okay, you know how it goes, but I'm hoping to do a full craft room tour very soon. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the questions. Best craft room organization tip. Okay. One of my favorite tips that I have learned about myself, and again, we've talked about this on Tidy Up Tuesday, is that I am a vertical and visual scrapper or crafter. Let me just say that. I'm a vertical visual crafter. What that means is that I do much better seeing things vertically rather than horizontally. I had to learn that about myself. So you'll see a lot of my storage back here is vertical. I do have a few drawers, but for me, the vertical organization, being able to kind of glance down and see what I have, even like I have my little tub of, I call these layering shapes, and see, these are even vertical. Like I love to have things where I can just kind of scroll through them vertically and visually. Like they need to be in a place where I can actually see what I have. And I think that's why I like the carousel so much, is that you can actually see everything right there. Just spin it and you're just looking at it versus drawers that I'm constantly pulling out. So I would recommend find, kind of learn about yourself and remember uh, where things are. Like, how do you think about where things are in your craft room? And the more I can see things and use that vertical organization, the better I know I can find things. And the more I can find things, the easier it is to craft and stress free, right? That's what it's all about, getting stress free. Okay. Where do I look for inspiration? Oh gosh, that's the big question, isn't it? So inspiration, I really, I like looking on Instagram a lot and Pinterest, of course. And I just saw an Instagram feed. I think for me, what I love is getting a glimpse of something and then going, how can I turn that into something? Like if I see a card, I'll think, how can I turn that into a scrapbook page? Or sometimes it's the actual product that inspires me to create. So getting all the things out and looking at it, and then what these designers have created, and then, finding the ways of putting that together. So there's always inspiration all around us. So yeah. Okay. If you see it, yes, Loretta, if you see it, you will use it. That's kind of my motto. That's why, I love the vertical visual organization. Okay. Um, and let's see, do I prefer design paper, die cutting, or ink blending cards? So I think the first two, Letty, are my two favorites. Of course, I love my first one of my first loves is design and pattern, right? Because there's so many choices, so many things you can do. And that's why I thought this would be kind of a good class to teach. There's a lot of talented folks on in the summit, as you have seen, to do the trickier things like the ink blending and the stenciling and all the masking and layering and different things like that. But sometimes when we just learn how to play with pattern and paper, that can be a game changer because you can do it quickly and easy, right? Without a whole lot of extra stuff. You can just get in there and layer with color, pattern, texture, and paper. And then I have to say, I do love my die cuts. That's a whole nother discussion. I didn't use die cuts for this, but I do love those die cuts. Okay, if I don't have a paper pack, Cheryl asks, what could I choose, or how could I choose what papers would go together? It's hard to see differences in shades of colors. Yes. Okay. So typically, what I like to do, and you can kind of, let me see if I can see this in my cards. I'm going to give you a couple. So you can see on most of the cards that I chose, the background is what I call a neutral. So even though those two are different patterns, see this one has a wood, this one has a wood, and this one has stars. They're a neutral. So typically I like to start with a neutral as just kind of a base layer, and then you add the patterns on top. So you can see this one with the cardinals is very iconic. Okay, so I did a neutral, then I did an icon, and then I did a color, but I wanted a contrast. So I'm a high contrast girl. I love that pop when you look at things. And so you'll notice that's what I tend to do when I layer the different ones. So again, here's, let me get my finger in the right place. This is an icon pattern. And then this is a texture, kind of more of a color pop texture pattern, the dots. So those are the things that I like to play with. Same thing, we've got the neutral in the background, that color pop, and then just a little texture right here for the circle. So those are the things that I look for when I'm trying to pick. Try to find those neutrals, icons, and then your pop of color. Okay. Maya, I love to layer paper pieces too, but it can get bulky. Do you mail your layered cards in special packaging or standard mail? Yeah, I buy the extra ounce stamps and buy the roll. I don't have it handy here to show you, but I always do the extra ounce because the most important thing for me is weighing the card so that it ships, correctly. And there are some really great, like if you want a little more sturdiness, there's some inexpensive, lightweight mailers that you can get like on Amazon. And sometimes I'll put things in there just to ship it a little safer. But I know some folks will put a sheet of like tissue paper or something, especially if you have, like little icon, the what do you call it, gemstones and things like that that kind of pop up. So you do have to kind of be prepared for that. Absolutely. All right. And Eileen, how do I decide whether the card will be vertical or horizontal? Ooh, I'm a vertical girl. So, it's kind of, to me, these cards actually were based on the embellishments that I used, right? So if depending on how you want to layer them, how you want to layer those embellishments, like there would not be a good way to put these guys vertically, right? They really need that horizontal format versus, let me see. And sometimes I have to tell myself, I think we tend to do vertical, at least I do, more than horizontal. So I have to kind of tell myself, wait a second. In fact, that's one of the first things I did when I created these. I made sure I had some of my cards lined up vertically, but I did turn to make sure I had some of the cards where they would be a horizontal open. So, and then like this one, here's another great example of a horizontal card. You could have done this vertically, but it would have been a much tighter. So if you need that kind of width with what you're layering, then, definitely put them down and then kind of make your piles and go from there. Um, okay. And so Lynn is asking, what packaging do I use to store individual cards in and where do you purchase? Lynn, Amazon's my go-to. And I like the if I'm just kind of storing, well, let me say, if I'm just storing before I'm mailing something, I love using the box that my blank cards come in. But if I'm storing to, save for later, then I would use those little cellophane bags. And my tip on that is there's, I believe it's Clear Bags, has cellophane bags. One of the trickiest things is that they put the adhesive. Oh, let me just say, like, say this is your cellophane bag. They put the adhesive up here, right? And then when you're trying to stick your card in or take it out after you've pulled the adhesive strip off, it can get stuck. But Clear Bags, I think they make one where the adhesive is actually down here. So when you're pulling something in and out, it doesn't stick to that adhesive strip on the top. And I thought that was a great solution if you like cellophane bags for your cards. So yeah, same empty box, right? Uh-huh. Okay. Do I recycle old cards and make new ones? Ooh, I haven't really done that, but I bet that would be fun. I just like I was showing you my little wall up there up top. I love looking at those cards. And when someone asked, how do you get inspired? Sometimes I look at those cards for inspiration. So I haven't really, taken things apart to reuse them yet. Yeah. Oh gosh, can you believe our time went that fast? Yeah, Ziploc bags are great too. Yeah. Okay. So, it's time to wrap up. Thank you all for joining in. It was so fun seeing your names and all the places you are from and joining me today. I hope you really enjoy the summit this weekend. And I'm sure there